Welcome to the Daily Tanya. Today is Thursday, the 14th day of Elul. And today we say the additional chapters in Tehillim of chapter 40, 41, and 42. Let's begin with Tzedakah. Midayla Tzedakah shemekareves esakeulah. Tzedakah brings Mashiach closer. And today we are going to conclude the beautiful letter 13 in Igeret HaKodesh, where the Alter Rebbe explains the different types of souls from the right and souls from the left. Some people are more expansive, extroverted, and some people are more introverted, and they're more calculated. And we explained yesterday that the way to serve Hashem properly is that using not only serving Hashem with the way that you're comfortable with, that is your nature, but also using things that is against your nature. Just like Shammai and Hillel, the two sages, one of them was always more strict. Shammai was always more strict. Hillel was always more lenient. And we explained that this is because that is where their soul originates from. Their soul, the source of their soul, Shammai is more on the side of Gevurah, the left side. Hillel is more on the right side. And yet, there were cases that Shammai was more lenient and Hillel was more strict. And the reason being is because in Kedusha, everything has to be inclusive. We have to contain and use out every part that Hashem gave us. And that means that even things that seems to be very hidden in us, it also has the time when it's revealed. Alter Rebbe now goes on to say that don't think that being that you are on one side and the other side is by you're hidden. Let's say a person who's on the left side is more introverted, calculated, and the good that he has inside is hidden. So you shouldn't think that this means that the hidden good that is very limited. He says no. It is as powerful and as limitless as the good that is in the person on the right side. And this way, the Alter Rebbe goes to explain the verse in the Tehillim that we started with this letter. And it says, Morav tuvcha shetzafanta l'reyecha. What is the good, great good that you hid to those who fear you? And the way the Alter Rebbe explains this verse, it's not that we're talking about the reward of goodness that God gives to those who fear Him. We're talking about the good that is hidden in those who fear, meaning the people who are on the side of fearing God and the introverted, the calculated people. There is good that is hidden in them or for them, which will explain what that means. So let's see inside what the Alter Rebbe says. Says the Alter Rebbe, "V'zeu she'omar David HaMelech olav hasholem morav tuvcha v'gomer." And this is the meaning of what was said by King David, peace be to him, who was of the attribute of Gevurah. How abundant is your goodness, which you have hidden away for those who fear you. Keloimar, he says, what is he saying? He's saying there is the hidden, that there is the good that is hidden away. It is hidden by those who have their soul from the left side. They still have the good, the kindness, the abundant kindness in them. Keloimar, shemida asatoi ve'achesed, asher bibchinas elem ve'ester etzel kol mi shesheyesh nishmose bibchinas man. That is to say, that the attribute of goodness and chesed, which is in a state of concealment and hiding within those whose soul root derives from the left, meaning from the Gevurah, the strict side, anikro b'shem yireyecha, and who are referred to as those who fear you, like Beit Shammai, Kemidas Beit Shammai, resembling the above-mentioned trait of Beit Shammai. So though this is a concealed and hidden goodness, beneath a dominant surface of Gevurah, Afal Pikein, nevertheless, says the Alter Rebbe, Urav v'godol me'oid. It is nevertheless truly as abundant and immense, k'moi midas hagdula v'achesed mamash m'chinas yamin, as the attribute of gedula, greatness, and chesed, which is of the right. So it doesn't mean that they just have a hidden one which is not as powerful. It is fully powerful, endless, great level of chesed. Although the element of chesed within those described as those who fear you is concealed, for their soul root derives essentially from Gevurah, it is latent within them, just as abundantly as it is found within those who are essentially of the right. Moreover, both degrees of chesed, that which is dominant in the souls deriving from the right, as well as that incorporated in the souls deriving from the left, both are manifest without limits, measure, or dimension. It is the ultimate good. And this is the meaning of the phrase, how abundant is your goodness. That's what King David is saying. How abundant is your goodness? Kelaima, when he's saying abundant, it means bli gvul u'midah. It applies in both cases without limit and measure. And this good is for both people, both on the right and on the left. And that is indicated in the verse. The verse says that this goodness is asher tzafanta l'reyecha pa'alta l'chosim bach. Bein ha'tov asher tzafanta l'reyecha u'bein asher pa'alta l'chosim bach. We're going to say it outside and then we're going to read it inside. It says, the verse says, this is the good that is hidden for those who fear you, which we just explained. That refers to people on the left side, that the dominant part of them is fearing God. And it says, Pa'alta l'chosim bach, that you have wrought for those who trust in you. Now, people who trust is more people on the right side and expensive. That people are trusting. You're trusting. You're going to give as much as you want. You're just trusting. That is the chesed side, the expensiveness. Calculated side is not as trusting. So he says this good, the ultimate good, is something that you have both those people who fear and those people who trust, meaning people on the right side. That's what Alter Rebbe says. Whether it be the goodness which you have hidden away for those who fear you, or that which you have wrought for those who trust you. Those who trust you is referring to the trusting ones who derive from the right. A person trusts his beloved friend to act in his best interest. In the same way, those whose souls stem from the right and who serve God with chesed and love, they place their trust in Him. So the chesed represents more the trust in Hashem. And those people on the right, whose kindness and goodness are also in a state of manifestation and expansiveness before the sight of man. And by no means in a state of contraction and concealment. So this is the meaning of this verse. King David says to God, how great your goodness is that you're hidden away for those who fear you, and it's open for those who trust you. Alter Rebbe now goes on to ask a question, carefully analyzing the wording of this verse. When the verse says that it was the goodness that you're hidden to those who fear you. And we explained that we're not talking about the reward that we give to them, but we're talking about a quality that God is hiding in them, in each and every person. In those who fear you, God is hiding there that quality of goodness. If that is the case, then the verse should have said that you're hiding the goodness in them, but that's not what the verse says. In Hebrew, in those who fear you, you would say bi reyecha with a bet in the beginning. But the verse says li reyecha. It was hidden away for them. That sounds like more like a reward rather than a quality that God is hiding in them. And the Alter Rebbe comes now with a beautiful explanation. He's going to say, there is, in the human being, we have certain parts of us, certain the powers. We have the internal powers and we have the encompassing powers. Things that are internal is like, for example, the power of seeing, the power of speech, the power of walking, things that you have that is enclosed in individual organs, fitting and limited to certain parts of you. These are the internal powers. You have also the external power, the encompassing powers. Encompassing powers, an example of an encompassing power is the power of will. You can want many things in the same time. You can want to walk and you want to see at the same time, and you don't have a place you can say where is the will in your body. It's encompassing. So the limited good can be placed in you. But when we are talking about the ultimate good, the unlimited, limitless good, the unlimited good, that powerful good and kindness that Hashem was hid away for us, that is something that it's encompassing us. That's why the verse says, it doesn't say you hid it away in those who fear you, but for those who fear you, meaning that it's such a powerful force of goodness that Hashem hid away for us, for those who fear, and is like hidden away for them, because it's too powerful than to be considered that is in us, and yet it is hidden away for us. That means that we can access that nuclear power that cannot be in us, but we can access it, and we can use it whenever we need. And when we need to use that power, it is used in a most powerful way, in a limitless way, and we have the ability to do it. And that is why the verse says, Li reyecha. It is hidden away for those who fear you. Let's see it inside. It says, the Alter Rebbe, Masha Kosov Li reyecha v'loi bi reyecha. The reason, the verse, for those who fear you, which would seem to imply that the chesed from above is granted to them as a reward, rather than in those who fear you. When we're saying in those who fear you, that would make sense, because you're saying that you're giving them this quality. So Alter Rebbe היינו משום שכל משהו בבחינת אלם בכל נשמה. הנה בחינה זו אינה מלובשת תוך הגוף במוח וליבה. That whatever it is in a state of concealment within any soul is not vested within the body, in the individual's mind and heart, for that because they are incapable of receiving it. Rather, it encompasses the individual from above, so to speak. And from there, meaning from that encompassing place, it radiates to his mind and heart at those times which require an arousal of the attribute in question. So that it will be aroused and will illumine his mind and heart in order to result in actual deeds. And here the Alter Rebbe talks about the letter to those to give the tzedakah, that even people who are more calculated type of people, sometimes they need to waken up this in order to be able to give in a bigger way, in a limitless way. And that's what Alter Rebbe explains, V'alkein asher rav tuv lebeis Yisrael, atzofen, v'agolu yu b'bchinas bli gvul amide, lefi erech nafsheisam amalabeshes beguf. David therefore says that whereas the abundance of goodness of the house of Israel, both that which is hidden and that which is manifest, is, so to speak, without limit and measure relative to the category of the soul vested in the body. So the kindness of a finite creature is by definition limited. However, it may be termed infinite in relation to the soul vested in the body. And now, because as a result of people accessing that limitless level of kindness, as a result, it triggers also that Hashem deals with them in that way of the limitless kindness, that kindness that has no barrier. What does that mean? There's some kindness, just like, for example, if you have water running, and then you put the dam, something to hold the water. It shouldn't run, shouldn't go through. But sometimes the water is so powerful, as we see in the flooding, can be so powerful that it can take away with them the whole dam that tries to stop the water and breaks it and goes along with it and flushes away. That means when it comes to kindness that comes from above, sometimes there's a kindness that comes from a kindness of the world, a limited kindness, and measured and it can be measured whether it goes to the place where you want it to go or not. But if the kindness comes from a higher level, the goodness, the endless kindness of Hashem, then there is no break, there is no limits. So one of the examples of such a blessing is the blessing of a Cohen. The blessing of a Cohen comes from the place called Rav Chesed, the abundant kindness, which that means that there's nothing that can stop it. It is such a powerful blessing that nothing stops it. Lochein, says that continues the Alter Rebbe, Lochein gam ato Hashem nisnaig imoim b'midas chastecho agodel b'ligvul v'tachlis aniko Rav Chesed. Therefore, you too, O God, relate to them with the attributes of your unlimited and infinite great chesed, which is the level known as Gedula, and which is called Rav Chesed, the Chesed of Arich Anpin, a higher level of, in the Kabbalistic terms, that utterly transcends the lesser Chesed of Ze'er Anpin, from which the worlds evolve by means of the Seder Shtalshalos, the chain-like descent. Because there's two types of kindness, as the Alter Rebbe, the Is Chesed and Is Chesed. But there is Chesed, and then there is a far higher form of Chesed. Is Chesed Olam. There is a Chesed Olam, meaning the Chesed of the world, a world-like and finite Chesed. And that kind of Chesed, that kind of kindness, can also have interruptions, can have a counterpart, attribute of judgment. That has an opposite counterpart, the attribute of din, of severe justice, heaven forfend, which would diminish and contract God's goodness. Aval chesed elyon anikro rav chesed ein kenegdoi midas adin lemayet uletzamtzem roiv chasdoi melispashet b'gvul v'tachlis. But the superior form of chesed, however, which is called rav chesed, does not have the attribute of din opposed to it, to diminish and contract the abundance of God's benevolence from extending without limits or end. This kind of chesed is limitless. And the reason being, because this is derived from the level of divinity called Sovev Kol Almin, which transcends, encompasses all worlds and limitations, and from the level of divinity called Tmira, the Chol, Tmirin, literally means that which is hidden even from all the hidden worlds. This is a powerful hidden light that we cannot see. Anikro Keser Elyon, which is called the Keser Elyon, the supernal crown, just like the crown is encompassing on the head. So the utterly transcendent level of divinity known as Keter. And here the Rebbe concludes, this then is the meaning of the verse which follows our opening quotation, and which continues to speak of those who fear you and those who trust in you. So the verse continues and says, hide them in the concealment of your innermost dimension. Seisa panecha. As explained above, panim denotes both countenance and inwardness. And then it goes and says, conceal them in a sukkah. What is a sukkah? Sukkah is an encompassing light. And here too, says that King David, that this goodness, it is hidden in the innermost dimension of Hashem, and conceal them in the sukkah. The sukkah, by the way, also the mitzvah of sukkah represents also this light, the makif light, this encompassing light. And this is the end of this letter. Well, this letter also the Alter Rebbe continues with explaining that that's why the people should use that power of them, the hidden power, to go against their natural tendency of giving, to give more, and thereby it triggers that hidden goodness that Hashem hides from us as such a goodness that there is nothing can stop it. And in general, this is also talking about the hidden powers that we have in every area in life. We have the conscious abilities that we are aware of. Then we have the subconscious things that we are not aware of, even that we have, that we possess, that we can do. And that is something, when we tap in a little deeper to us in our subconscious, we see that there's certain things that we never knew that we're able to do, and yet we realize that we can do it fully, because we didn't tap into not even the smallest percentage of what we are able to do.
So that's the end of this letter. With Zat Hashem, we'll see you tomorrow in the new letter, also by the topic of tzedakah. A wonderful day.